Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just wanted to make another short video. I have been using this backup solution for quite a while, SpiderOak One. And at first I was kind of impressed by the fact they had like a Linux application. And it's basically the same thing as the Windows application. But something that I've noticed is despite the fact that they have a very, very, very cheap backup solution. I mean, when I signed up for this, I think it was maybe, it was like $150 a year for unlimited backup. And supposedly it's encrypted, end-to-end encrypted, so it encrypts on your machine and gets sent up to the SpiderOak servers. So, I mean, that's good. But the application is so terrible that it makes it unbearable to use. So, I mean, even if I had to pay 2 or 3 times as much, but maybe I had control over the application, because I mean, I could use, some cloud server, AWS, I could use DigitalOcean, I could use, S3 buckets or from Google buckets or, so many different things. OpenStack, I don't know. Ton of different, I'm sure there's so many different solutions. Basically, just a hard disk in the sky, on the internet. It's going to be way cheaper, and all I got to do is set up a system to encrypt it for me. So I think it's just, well, let me go into the reasons why it's so terrible. Basically, I have a bunch of different machines that I've backed up over the years, and these are some of the backups that are just basically, they're just sitting there. If you have like what I do is I have something like, I'll use various backup solutions locally, and I'll back up locally to a spare hard disk. And then I'll take those backed up files, and then I'll use those to send up to SpiderOak One as like my third string backup in case, my computer dies and my hard drive dies as well. At least this way I have, definitely have something saved off-site. There's a fire, water damage, hurricane, all those different types of things. This way I have a backup no matter what. But for SpiderOak, this application is the memory will just keep on expanding and expanding and expanding, and it won't take into account how much RAM you have. It won't take into account how big the file is. Should it do a portion of the file, segment the file into parts? It doesn't do any of that. It's very stupid. On another system, I was using SpiderOak, and it didn't notify me that some backups weren't happening. It's just a bunch of little things like that where it's just some basic intelligence that if you set something to back up, but a backup hasn't been ran for a really long time, then it should let you know. And it's just, again, like, look at this backup. It looks like it's doing something because these little 3 dots are moving, but it doesn't tell you anything. You go click on activity, and it's just like everything it's just so slow. It just takes entirely too long to do anything. And it's just a very poorly made application. And I think they use Qt, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very powerful framework. So there's no reason why they can't improve this. And it's pretty much been the same ever since I started using it. So I'm not really sure what the problem is. I used to be an advocate for SpiderOak because I really liked the idea of the end-to-end encryption, and I thought they're on the right path, and I still do think they're on the right path with that. But I just can't recommend it because this application is just so bad. It's so bad. And there's pretty much no customization to improve this performance. There's really nothing you can do. Yeah, backup, you can set don't back up files larger than such and such megabytes. Well, that's pretty useless. Why would I need that? I would never need that. Don't back up a file if it's too big. No, I need you to back up all my files. If I put it in the backup folder that I want you to back up, I need you to back them all up. Don't back up files older than such and such time. I don't know why anybody would need that, but whatever. That's fine. But then again, it's like, where's the rest of the options? I need more options than this. And they do have different options. It's just they're like environmental variables that you can set. And I had to do a lot of digging for this. Basically, if you want to keep your cache directory on like another path, because what they do is before sending the files up to the server, they're going to encrypt it, right? So they're going to pack them up and encrypt it, and it takes up basically whatever your storage, whatever you're backing up, it's going to be the size of that encrypted, and that's going to be on your home directory. And so it's just like, if I have a 4 terabyte hard drive, and that's what I'm using as my personal storage backup location, and I want to back up those files, I don't want you to use my home directory as the backup location or as the encryption location for the cache before you send it off. So I already fixed that problem, but still, why isn't that in the settings? Why isn't that in the wizard? Why aren't you asking people that question? This software has problems. And this is what I'm saying is, it's like, hire me, okay? I will fix this problem for you. I will make this software better. Because I can tell you right now, I don't know how much money they're making off of this platform, but I guarantee you it's got to be enough to hire a developer who knows what they're doing. And I can fix this. Schedule frequency, that's good. This is great. Network, this is great. These are settings you want. I don't know what this is because it's kind of like, it's a checkbox with nothing next to it. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, this is just, it's a very poorly made application. It looks nice, but it doesn't do what you need it to do. And I mean, even things don't expand. They don't add any more information. It just stays this very small size. Even though, these things are like cut off. It's just, I expect more from a professional company. This is a cross-platform application, so it shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, I just wanted to throw this out there. If anybody was thinking about going with SpiderOak, I'm going to recommend you don't go with SpiderOak, even if you do have to pay a little bit extra money. But then again, if these problems that I've brought up aren't problems for you, then maybe it's a good solution because it is very, very cheap. I originally started looking at Backblaze, but they didn't have a Linux application, so I was like, oh, I'll go to SpiderOak. Because Backblaze had like very cheap backup cloud backup solution, which is what really attracted me because I just want something that I can send my backup files to and I don't have to think about it and I can just store them. And I wanted a quick application that can do it, and with a few little settings, right? Notify me if my backup didn't run, right? There's a problem with my backup, because obviously that's the reason why you'd need to be notified. Don't take up so much space on my home directory. Have same settings and preferences that allow me to configure it with the logical things that anybody would want. And yeah, and just get out of my hair. Don't take up so much CPU resources. I mean, I remember one time I was trying to figure out what was going on with my system. Everything was locking up. Well, SpiderOak One client took all 32 gigabytes, nearly 32 gigabytes, not the whole thing, but I mean, my operating system uses like 2 gigabytes already or something like that, but it took all the rest, like 30 gigs of RAM. It was eating up. Who made this program? It's so bad. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Let me know what you guys think.